Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Mike Chu, a physical therapist. Yes, I am your alternative healthcare career coach. Today, we're going to be having a special guest. His name is Mr. Aaron Walker, and he'll be talking about navigating the journey in our life. We'll be back in a few seconds, okay?
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution. HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, my Facebook friends. If you're watching live, comment live. Watching on replay, comment replay. Hey, we got a special guest for today. Our guest for today is Mr. Aaron Walker. And I've been following him in Facebook and YouTube and everything like that. He's just an amazing gentleman. He lives here in Tennessee, by the way. He is actually a business owner, president, and founder of View from the Top. He's a life coach and a business coach, an author and a speaker. And he runs this amazing mastermind group called Iron Sharpens Iron Mastermind. And it's just an amazing guy all over. And I've been, like what I said, I've been following him, watching all his YouTube videos and everything. And guess what? He's interviewed hundreds and hundreds of amazing people, not just regular people, but amazing people who are actually changing people's lives. And it's just my honor today to interview him when he posted something. Hey, anybody out there who wants to do a podcast interview? And I said, I need to do this. I need to talk to him. Without further ado, let's bring in Mr. Aaron Walker. Where are you at, sir?
Hey, Mike. How's it going, buddy? You doing good today?
Yes, sir. They're very good. There you are. Well, again, without further ado, could you please tell us again, Mr. Aaron, what do you really do in life, and how could you help us find our alternative career in our group? So
yeah, man, I appreciate that. You know, I like the music. I've been dancing in the background, so you're playing that music. I'm like, hey, let's keep the music going. It was fun. But let me give you a little background information on me. You know, I'm raised in Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville native. Now 62 years I've been here. Love it in Nashville. Started my first business when I was 18. God really blessed our business. Retired when I was 27 for the first time. I say that with the greatest amount of humility, but it was a springboard, Mike, for doing some other things. Went on and opened, started and sold a number of businesses. About 12 years ago, I retired for the third time. And my wife said I've retired more than the law allows, but I did. And some guys that I was in a mastermind with, Dave Ramsey, Dan Miller, Ken Abraham, some of those guys you may or may not recognize, but they encouraged me to coach. And at first I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. I want to go down to the Caribbean and kind of forget it. And Dan Miller really pushed me in the corner and he said, hey man, you need to coach some other guys. You've had successful companies. You and Robin have been married a long time. I think you could really help some other people. So, you know, I kind of reluctantly said, okay, I'll coach a couple of guys. Started doing that, Mike, and started doing some podcast interviews. And, man, God just opened the floodgates on us. Now we have 15 mastermind groups. We're in 5 different countries around the world. We have 150 amazing entrepreneurs. At the pace we're going, we'll have about 300 entrepreneurs in our mastermind groups in the next 18 months. And we're helping people really understand how to be successful and significant simultaneously. So, yeah, we want to help you grow personally, professionally, spiritually, every area of your life. We want to help you accomplish your goals and dreams.
it's funny you mentioned about that. Again, thank you very much again for joining. I appreciate you, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah.
And again, if you're watching live, comment live, watching the replay, comment replay. If you have any questions, type in there and any questions that you have in our group. But I like what you said. You've created 15 masterminds, created entrepreneurs, and there's a reason why God created us here to be entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, He wanted you to level up, and this is what Mr. Aaron is doing. He's
Yeah.
actually helping other people level up and find their passion and find their purpose. And before we went live, Mr. Aaron, I was talking to one of my therapists who is based there in Nashville, actually in Gallatin. And for some, I also coach other therapists start their own business. And for some reason, we talked about, payroll. So we're running payroll this week. And for some reason, he said, Michael, there's this feeling of accomplishment or feeling of satisfaction, not because you're like, you're giving money, but there's a feeling of satisfaction that you're
Yeah.
giving this, your employees a salary, or that exchange of service and goods, because it's just satisfying in the sense that you're providing livelihood for the community,
Yeah.
and you're not just selling services, you're providing livelihood. And I like what you're doing here, Mr. Aaron, uh creating entrepreneurship. So when
Yeah.
regards to that, what are the different businesses that you've created, sir?
Yeah. Let's go back and talk about that for a second, because I think this is really important. A lot of people would say, hey, you started these companies, you sold out, you retired. Why don't you just stay retired? And you said something really important there, is that we're really created to have purpose and meaning in life. And I discovered August 1st, 2001, now over 2 decades ago, uh, we're leaving a legacy. And we've really got to think through what that legacy is. I was on my way to work on a Wednesday morning, 7:30 in the morning. I ran over and killed a pedestrian crossing the street to catch a bus here in Nashville. And it
Mhm.
really brought me to a screeching halt. I'm like, man, what in the world has just happened? And sold the business, took about 5 years off, really thought through what I wanted to do. I was so busy chasing money, almost lost my family as a result of that. I was pretty burnt out, needless to say. And so I took a break. And what I discovered, Mike, in that process was we're all leaving a legacy. And if it had been me that day that was killed, my legacy would have been poor kid from Nashville, Tennessee, makes enough money to retire at age 27 and nobody cares. And I'm like, man, that is not what I want my legacy to be. I want my legacy to be that, hey, Big A helped Mike accomplish his dreams and goals. I was looking outward. I'm not a taker, I'm a giver. I'm here to help him. I want to be able to encourage him. And I wasn't doing any of those things. Like, nobody was affected by our success but my family. And I was like, man, God, if you'll give me one more chance, I'm going to do my best to turn that around and to help other people. So my purpose today is the transformational experiences of you. And I want to help you accomplish your goals and accomplish your dreams. And I want you to do it without sacrificing your family on the altar of success, right? You don't want to sacrifice your family. We've got to have boundaries. We've got to have aspirational goals, but we want to keep it in the right perspective. We want to prioritize our priorities. We want to be sure that we're accomplishing this thing called success, all the while having a level of significance. And so that is today what I'm trying to help younger entrepreneurs do, is to go ahead, make money, have things, enjoy your life, but at the same time, reach out, help the person across the aisle, help them accomplish their goals and their dreams. And it's amazing at the success and significance that you can have if you're proactive in doing so.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if you're watching, ladies and gentlemen, or listening to the replay on the podcast, but I like what Mr. Aaron said. Leaving a legacy, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bigger purpose for everything that we do. If you're in the alternative career group, or even our different groups that we're streaming this, there's a reason why you became a therapist. There's a reason why you became a physician. There's a reason why you became a nurse or whatever right now, because you wanted to leave a legacy. When you were young, people would ask us, right? They would ask us, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" You wanted to do something to help other people, not just for ourselves. And this is what Mr. Aaron is doing. He's teaching us. He's going to help us find that alternative career, find that passion, and find that legacy that we can leave behind. And I'm sorry about what happened. I've been following that, story that you mentioned
Sure.
there before.
Mike,
Aaron.
tell me something, Mike. What are some of the challenges that your listeners are facing today? What are some of the hardships? I know we're all going through this pandemic, and that's isolated people to a great extent. And so I'm helping people get eradicated out of isolation. But what are some of the challenges that your audience is facing today?
Number one is burnout, Mr. Aaron. They are
Yeah.
even me, we are just burned out with healthcare itself and the lowering of reimbursement when it comes to Medicare and the insurances.
Mm.
And we feel like that insurances are not valuing the profession itself.
Right.
And
Right.
that's where we come in and try to encourage them. Hey, it's not all about insurances. It's not all about the number of visits. It's all about the changing, the,
Yeah, I was just thinking a little bit, Mike, about what you said. And I think some of the reason that we have burnout, and I've experienced that quite honestly, there again, not to be boastful, this is the 14th company I've owned in 43 years. And I understand about what it takes, right, in the industry today. And I want to go over just a couple of things, if I could, that may be beneficial to you. And when I was a child, some of the things that were really important to my family was, does your no really mean no? When you say that to anybody, are you protecting yourself? Are you building these boundaries? And I started thinking through that, and I thought, in order for us to say no and it really mean no in our profession today, they'll suck the life out of you. They'll get everything they can out of you if they can. And we have to make sure that our decisions and our actions are aligning with our convictions and our values. And when you start using that as a filter to say no, then you're more apt to do it, because we've got to be consistent with our messaging. You know what I'm saying? As I get older now, I think a lot about finishing well. I want to finish well. I'll be 62 on my next birthday. I want to leave a legacy that's laced with honesty and integrity. And if I'm going to do that, I've got to have white space. I've got to be able to rest. I've got to be able to think about things that really matter. I created a document called What Do I Want? And it really helps us to live proactively and not reactively. We start trying to make decisions based on what we want, not what others think we should do. And when I was a kid, integrity was a big deal to my parents, and they taught us to say what we mean. They would say, if you say yes or you say no, you've got to really be able to substantiate that. And today we don't have that filter. We just say yes to everything, and we go to the office and they burn you out because you're always saying yes. You're afraid if you say no that they're going to come and get rid of you, or, demote you or lower your pay. But as I got a little bit older in life, I was really looking for men of integrity. That was really important to me because I wanted others to help me on my journey. You know what I'm saying? I had to have people walking in lockstep with me. But sadly, what I discovered is there wasn't very few men out there with real integrity, because nobody meant what they said. And so you've got to align yourself with people that can help walk you down that journey. Well, as years went by, as I got older, what I discovered that people with real integrity, they appear calm. I was like, hey, man, how do you do that? And then they were slow to speak. They didn't jump right up and say the first thing. And then these guys were free of condemnation. They were free of judgment, but they were confident. And I said, how do you have so much confidence? How are you able to say no and yes so readily available? And they said, because we have trusted advisors. We have people that are walking in lockstep with us to help us make those decisions. And what I'm finding out, people that are getting burnt out, they don't have trusted advisors. They don't have anybody in their corners. They're operating in isolation. You see, we only have one set of filters, but we can't see it a different way. And some of you were raised a certain way and you were trained to say yes, no matter what the cost. And today we have a 55% divorce rate because people are unable to say no. And see, we need those boundaries, Mike, in our life today to help us and to keep us from getting burnt out. And what I discovered was these men that I trusted, that I looked up to, that had high integrity, they had these trusted advisors. All these men were walking in lockstep with people that gave them that sense of encouragement. They gave them guidance. They gave them perspective. And for me, this was a great filter that allowed them to say yes or no with a great amount of confidence. So I want to encourage your listeners today that if you don't have accountability, you don't have trusted advisors, you need to get that, and it will allow you not to become burned out in your occupation because they can help you create these boundaries and guardrails.
Amazing. I feel like you're not talking to my audience. I feel like you're just talking to me. Big A. Everybody calls Mr. Aaron Big A, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. How tall are you, Big A?
I'm 6'4". Yeah, I'm a pretty big guy.
No wonder they keep on calling you Big A. Right?
I
like what Big A said, ladies and gentlemen. In order for you to prevent burnout, you got to have boundaries, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm writing things down. I'm learning so much right now. And I haven't done a lot of interviews like this lately, Big A, because we've been so busy in the clinic too. And most of the time I interview fellow therapists too and clinicians, and we're just all the same, and coming from a different perspective, coming from a different person, not in the healthcare field. And it's just a breath of fresh air coming from a different perspective. I also like what Big A say here, ladies and gentlemen, talking slower, because they have integrity and they have confidence in them. I need to talk slower, ladies and gentlemen. See, Big A is talking to me right now. He's not just talking to you. He's also talking to me. And every time I do these interviews, it's not just for our audience. It's also for me, because I learn a lot from these interviews, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm the same way, man. When I interview somebody, I end up learning more, and so I just want to encourage your listeners out there today that no is a complete sentence, right? It's okay to say no, right? I always said that in my companies, if I was going to cheat anybody, I was going to cheat the company, because you only have one go through with your spouse. You don't get a do-over. And then you've got kids at home. And I don't want to go home in the afternoon and one of my kids say, "Hey, Dad, let's pitch." And I'm like, "No, I ain't got time to pitch baseball. I got to send another email. I got to make another social media post." We only get one go through with those kids. We don't get a do-over. Like, this is it. On this side of heaven, this is all we've got. And I want to encourage you today, man, to cheat the office, say no to the office, and go home to your family and embrace them, love on them, because relationships matter most. And if you want to live life to its fullest, you've got to be able to say no. You've got to be able to build these boundaries that protect you and protect your family, because what's going to happen, you're going to come home with a pocket full of money to a house full of strangers if you're not careful. And if that happens, you're going to die a rich old guy with no relationships. And I want to give you a little warning. My children are 36 and 39. I've got 5 grandchildren from 6 years old to 20. And what's going to happen if you don't nurture that relationship now? Those kids are going to go away. They're going to go to college. And then you're going to have time and they're not. They're going to say, "Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Mom. I tried to build a relationship with you. Now I've got my own life." And you're going to lose out on that relationship with your spouse or with your children that you're never going to get back. And I want to encourage you today to do an evaluation on yourself. Really take note as to how you're nurturing those relationships and the time that you're taking away from them. And I promise you, if you will set those boundaries, if you will establish those core values, the things for you in your life that are important, when I start thinking about my personal core values, relationships matter most. That's my number one core value. And I would love for it to be your core value as well. I think about the way we try to do things. You want to do it amazing. That's my second core value. No excuses, my third core value. Everything is figure outable. Like, you can figure out a way if you want to do it. And then my last core value is truth above opinion. And I just want to encourage you today to establish these core values, write a vision for how you want to live your life. And then it's easy to tell the office, I have prioritized my priorities. and this doesn't allow me to work this extra. Even if I don't make more money, be willing to take the consequences as a result of protecting the things that matter most. And when you do that, you'll come out on the other side. You'll be whole. You may not make as much money initially, but if you're well mentally and physically and emotionally, you're going to make a lot more money. You're going to be hugely successful and significant, and you're not going to do it at the expense of your family. So, Mike, that's my desire for your audience today.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much again, Big A. I really appreciate everything you said. I like what he said, ladies and gentlemen. It says here, relationship over revenue. All right. Value that relationship. And I think Big A is talking to me right now. I'm so focused on our business and everything, and I forget the time with my kids. And we got to go back. We got to go back to that core, to the family. The family is the main the main, what you call this, the main thing in the community. And this is where the devil hits us. He destroys that family, and that community is destroyed. And I also like what he said here: let your yes be yes and your no be no. And your no and yes is a complete sentence. That is so correct. And in order for us to prevent this burnout that we're experiencing, again, thank you very much, Big A. Appreciate you. Any last parting wisdom? And
thank you, man. I wish we had all afternoon. I love to teach on these things. I love to encourage. If you want to learn more about what we do, reach out to us at viewfromthetop.com, viewfromthetop.com. What's pretty exciting, Mike? We haven't done this in 4 years. We're about to open 3 new groups. And if you're interested whatsoever in being involved in a community, it is absolutely unbelievable. It will rock your world. We do it virtually. We've been doing it for years and years and years. Guys have been meeting in these groups for 6, 7, 8 years. Their life is unbelievable now as a result of being in community. And man, I want the same for you and for your audience. And if we can help you in any way, get plugged in so you're not burned out, so that you can live life to the fullest. Just reach out to us. No arm twisting, no high pressure. We just want to see if we can help you. Again, viewfromthetop.com. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you. Again, thank you very much, Big A. Appreciate you. But before I let you go, ladies and gentlemen, always remember the word FAST, F-A-S-T, letter F. Find people that will bring out the best in you, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So who are you hang out with today? I hang out with Big A, Aaron Walker, and I feel like I want to be better. I'll be better, stronger, take care of my family more, right? Next letter is letter A. Take action. All this stuff that we're doing is not going to do me good. It's not even going to do Big A good if you don't take action. Take action by going to his website, View from the Top, because imperfect action beats perfect in action. Stop analyzing, stop the analysis paralysis, and just continue to keep on moving forward, okay? Next letter is share and subscribe. The more shares, the better. I'm sure Mr. Aaron Walker has a Facebook page or YouTube channel. So share and subscribe his channel. It's probably going to be Aaron Walker, YouTube and Facebook, right, Mr. Aaron?
Yes.
And last but not the least is letter T. You teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, you're actually going to understand it more. And that's what Mr. Aaron is doing, is teaching us how to value relationships over revenue, how to navigate the journey and create a success and significance and leave a legacy in life. Again, thank you very much, my Facebook friends, YouTube friends, who I'll see you around, and I'll see you, the View from the Top. Again, thank you. I'll see you, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution